Hello, and welcome to Hocus Focus. Today we're going to be covering some basic principles behind algebra, just as a bit of a warm-up to get the conversation going. Alright, so we're going to start off with this basic one over here. Now, just, I don't know, laying some groundwork. When you're doing any sort of algebra, if you're manipulating one side that changes the overall value, you have to do the same operation to this side. If, for example, you wanted to get rid of this component of this answer, or of the left-hand side of the equation, you would also need to subtract 2 from this side. That's because it changes the value, and we are treating this statement as a fact. So 3x plus 2 is equal to 5. So if you alter one side, it is no longer equal to the other side. However, you can do something such as you can split the 2 into 2 portions. So that doesn't actually impact the value of this side, so this statement is still considered true. This will be important in just a moment. Alright, so if we were to go ahead and actually get started on this, subtract 2 from both sides. We have 3x is equal to 5. Divide both sides by 3. Oh, you see, this is why you should pay attention while you're doing something. All right, so x in this case is equal to 1. All right, so this is relatively simple. We're going to make it just a little bit harder on the other side. So for this, we have the 3x squared plus 2x is equal to 5. So there are a couple ways to go about doing this. The first thing I would like to do, this guy is going to be causing some problems, so in order to make the math a little bit easier, we are going to divide both sides by 3. And that gives us x squared plus 2x is equal to 5/3. Alright? Actually, this is why you always have to pay attention. This is definitely because this is not the third time I've been recording this because of video issues. Well, at any rate, so we're left with this for right now, and this we could try to split the x out, but generally, in a situation like this, it's probably easiest to just complete the square. So, just I'm going to use some of this space over here to talk about what completing the square is for just a moment. So, if we have a term like we have most of a normal equation here. What we're missing is the units term. So if we want to turn this into something that we can evenly sort of break apart into 2 terms, then what we can do is and we have this, so if we were to break this apart into 2 to sort of like make a nice even term, we would have something like this, which means that our units term here would be 1/9. But we can't just add the 1/9 in over here, because that would change the value. So these two together is equal to 0. So we're not actually changing anything on this side, we're just breaking this apart. So over here, if we sort of simplify this down, we have x squared, what? Sorry about that, my camera setup is pretty bad. So we have x plus 1/3 minus 1/9 is equal to 5/3. Alright, so this is pretty easy. We simplify this down a little bit further, add 1/9 to both sides. And then this would be converted into 15/9, so we would have 16/9 right there. I also forgot the squares over here. Look at me go. Alright, so if we were to take the square root of both sides, we would then have make that a little easier to see what we're doing exactly. All right, but since we're taking the square root of this guy over here, this could actually be plus or minus 4/3. Now we knew up here, or at least we could infer that we were going to have two possible answers down here at the bottom for x, because we have the x squared, and the actual equation doesn't really come out very evenly. So if we were to have x plus 1/3 is equal to positive 4/3, and then x plus 1/3 is equal to negative 4/3 is the two separate parts of our equation, breaking it up into the two different answers. Now, the steps for both sides are going to be the same, just subtract 1/3. So when we bring these together, we have x could be equal to x could be equal to 1, or it could be equal to negative 5/3. And then from here we would just go ahead and plug this back into the original equation. So just to verify the answer, this is the answer, but just to remove any doubt, we have this is obviously correct because that equals 5 and 5 does equal 5. And then if we go over here, we would have 3 times negative 5/3 squared plus 2 times negative 5/3 is equal to 5. So we would have this should be a 9. So we have verified that both of these answers are correct when plugged into the original equation. So we know that that answer is correct. If you have any questions about anything that we have done here today, if you have any questions about what to do going forward, or things that you would just want clarified further, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. But all that aside, this was Hocus Pocus, and hope you all have a wonderful day.